started out as a peaceful community protest against drug and human trafficking in Rosettenville, Johannesburg South. It escalated into a violent standoff between residents and the South African Police Service. This standoff ignited the anger of these residents, and within a few hours, they torched more than 13 alleged drug houses and brothels in this once sought-after residential area.
And the police started shooting at the people. That's why the crowd got angry and they burned the house.
The issue is about the crime that is taking place, which involves hijacked buildings. It involves the use of children in prostitution, the drug rings that are around here.
Drugs. So let them go that place and doing that drug business and burn it.
The torching of more than 13 alleged drug dens and brothels red flags the high levels of tension in this community between South Africans and foreign nationals. Special Assignment investigates the events that led to this eruption of violence in Rosettenville, which has resulted in hundreds of foreign nationals leaving the area or doing whatever it takes to protect their businesses. A short-lived peace prevails in Rosettenville streets after the recent protests that have rocked this once affluent community with violence. Here, there is a growing population of foreign nationals that have for a long time been living side by side with South Africans. This cosmopolitan community has, however, been plagued with a litany of social ills. Besides poverty and unemployment, drug and human trafficking as well as prostitution are rife in these streets. Machadiso Molefe is a concerned resident who witnessed the burning down of this house in Prairie Street.
This house here, the prostitutes used to stay in this house. The week before last weekend, we take them out, all of them out. But as we finish in the afternoon, they move back in because they sell their bodies there, they sell drugs there. It's a hot spot. Even this corner here we're standing, they are all over. My house is around the corner, they are there all the time. So on Saturday, they're coming and see if they're still here because they told us they moved back in. And the police started shooting at the people. That's why the crowd got angry and they burned the house.
This protest was part of what the residents call Reclaim Our Community, a militant and aggressive community cleansing of Rosettenville. They claim their aim was to remove the mostly Nigerian foreign nationals from the alleged drug dens and brothels and to put homeless South Africans in these houses.
After cleaning them last Sunday, they came back again in those houses. We are going to go back there. If comrades, they resist us today, we must be very clear. If again these Nigerians are resisting us today, we are going to be forced to be physical with them. We are going to be physical with them. My God was saying that they must stop running these brothels in our community.
A standoff ensued between the thousands of angry residents and the police. Very soon, the situation got out of hand as they tried to disperse the crowd. The shooting incident triggered even more anger as the residents started torching the houses that they planned to clean. This was one of the many houses that was torched in Rosettenville, where residents say it was a known drug den and brothel in which many South African young girls were being trafficked and prostituted. The locals here say that they've been trying for 3 years to get the police to do something about this.
Kidnapping children, small children, they are prostitutes. I can tell you, The house here around the corner, there were small children staying in that house. They were prostitutes. Do nothing about that. The police do nothing, absolutely nothing about that. So we are very, very angry at the moment.
Unfortunately, in this war, nationality is criminalized. Nigerians bearing the brunt of most of the attacks, even those that disagree with drug trafficking, like Emmanuel Agara.
What they are doing nicely is good, somehow. If only to burn those places they are doing those drugs business is nice, I support. But along the line, they are burning. Watch this signboard. That day they come here, before they come, we learn away, we bang the gate. They couldn't enter. Along the line, they're stealing. They're stopping people, making people scared. Everybody's learning. Everywhere is hot. Nobody's selling drugs business. You only sell BS, food. You don't sell drugs. So let them go that place that are doing that drug business and burn it. And do whatever they want.
Chika Agara equally feels unjustly victimized.
It really affects my business. Really, since last week. The business can't move anymore. There's no people in the club. Everybody is scared. Because when those guys came around, they came with weapons. They want to fight us. We run away for our life. They're trying to steal the property. On my behalf, what they're doing is not protest. If you're protesting, you're free to destroy, not to steal people's property.
They have to talk about it with Nigerians. I think now they are talking about it now. We don't want it anymore. Even if we see person that doing that business, I myself, I will hand that person over to police. Yeah, because they are spoiling our name. Some of people good, you know. Yeah, but now they think that everybody's bad. No, I myself, I'm not selling drugs. I'm doing genuine business.
But the locals feel that the militant action is necessary, even if it means risking their lives and facing arrest to protect their streets.
We had a program which we still have that is called Reclaim Our Community. We had no program, and we still have no program that says that we must touch properties. There is no program of that nature. If we are saying that, we intended to also house those who are homeless. Why would we then go and burn those properties? But then, because of the anger that was somewhat, instilled inflicted, and the pain that was inflicted by the police to our community members and the residents. Now they were just like all over the place now, disorganized and demobilized in that way, in such a way that you didn't know who's doing what where. Now that's when the whole thing of burning actually started.
He says the initial trigger was the alleged hijackings of property belonging to an elderly South African family by some foreign nationals.
Here they were evicted by some foreign national who's been running this community amok in relation to property hijacking. It's when now the whole community, went up in arms to say that no, that can't be right, that can't be fashionable. Now we must start really addressing these issues. But then again, by their own nature and design, they need militants. We can't be seem very romantic in approaching them. They need militants now.
Days after the burnings, the area started seeing an influx of police and politicians, despite the fact that many calls have been made in the past for government intervention.
We also need collaboration with the communities to provide us the information we require and to enable the security agencies to do their work. To guard against perpetrating the view that all immigrants in South Africa are undocumented and that all immigrants in South Africa are criminal.
As the ash and dust settles in Rosettenville, the community still believes that it takes radical and militant action to get the attention of their leaders.
We believe the burning of houses is getting the government attention. If you do not burn the house, the government do nothing about it. Because we've been complaining ever since, it's been 3 years now we're complaining about this. The government did nothing. But since we burned the house, now you can see the police are walking around.
Although no foreign nationals were hurt during the violence, many have opted to pack up their goods and businesses and leave the area.
A top 5 rated horse racing event in the world, fashion is a highlight for those in attendance. All decked out in blue and white, the Lomorians Queen Plate is the premier event that kicked off everyone's social calendar.
That it was all part of my master plan to cast John Legend but deprive him of his normal instrument and give that one to Ryan.
The House of Truth is not just a name. It is a religion. It is a lifestyle. It is a conviction that drives us.
What really excites me is how people have kept it very simple and also played with the theme, and how each person has interpreted it in their own way.
To stay updated with all the current entertainment news, tune into Trends every Saturday from 12 to 1.
Heilbron is a small town in the Free State a few hours from Johannesburg. Here, there is a high unemployment rate and limited opportunities in this largely agricultural community. It is the last place that one would expect the tentacles of human trafficking syndicates to reach. But one young girl from this community was recently rescued from a drug den in Rosettenville. This 19-year-old was lured to Johannesburg by a friend under the pretext of employment.
Yeah, my friend told me that she wanted me to go with her to Johannesburg, Rosettenville, where she was staying with a Nigerian guy there. So, but she never told. Okay, she told me that she was staying with the Nigerian guy there. But she told me in another way that like I got money there so that I can support my baby, because she knows she was staying here with me here by my house. She knows the way I'm living with my father. So like she wanted me to go that side so that to make money, to have money, so that I can support my baby. You see. So then I went there for a job actually. Yeah, I didn't know that I was going to those kind of things for working for Nigerian. Those I know.
I know this may be hard, but can you tell us about one of your worst experiences while you were living in that house?
It was the first time when I got arrested. They find drugs in the house, in the room we were in, because us we didn't know that that guy is hiding the drugs in the house. Because the way we know, like they're hiding drugs, but inside the yard, but not inside the houses. So the time the police they came there, they searched the room and they searched us. They found Nyaope there inside the room. That's when they arrested us for 3 days by John Foster. That was my worst experience before. I never had that before. I never got arrested.
The day that you heard that they burnt down the very house in which you were trafficked, what went through your mind?
I was feeling surprised and happy because I told myself that this thing is not right. That means it's our heart, it's my heart that is like God can see that, can even hear that I'm feeling painful in my heart. So like, I can't talk now, you know. Yeah, so I was happy and surprised.
She's one of the few lucky girls that have been trafficked to Rosettenville and was rescued by the community from the drug dens. Others are not as fortunate. Meanwhile, back on the streets in Rosettenville, the sex workers vow not to stop their activities despite the actions of the community and police. For some, it remains business as usual.
Come on, I see my life going 3 doors down. I see my life getting lost in the crowd. No one walking, but I see it's round. No one breathing.
Once the cops is quiet and the community have stopped doing what they are doing, then probably I will still go back and doing the same, but continue doing my business. Because there's no way that I'm just gonna stay somewhere, still be hungry and don't have any money.
Despite the burning of the brothel they worked in, these sex workers say that they are forced to operate in the same house until they find a better alternative.
Yeah, but if they want to stop us from doing what we are doing, then they're supposed to create for us jobs then. They must give us jobs so that we can be able to go and work. Because there's no way how we're going to eat, how we're going to pay our house rents and everything, taking care of our children. There's no way that we can do that.
One of the issues that the community says angers them in Rosettenville is the alleged hijacking of houses. A few years ago, Puseletso owned a beautiful 3-bedroom house in Rosettenville, but her family was allegedly forcefully evicted.
Banna man ba ma Nigeria ha ba fitla ba re ba rekile ntlo ba be re botsa gore na ba e rekile ka ntlo ya teng ba re ntlo ena e ne e le auctioning so a re se re founela ko absa a re ntlo e ntse e pitsa ka mabitso a ntate ha ba tsebe gore na ma Nigeria a e rekile jwang ya be le re he ntho a teng re a ilatella ma Nigeria khutla hape ha khutla a khutla a sa tsamaya le banna ba ba tenyahadi ba ba ka ba mazulu e mongwe wa bona ke mqhulu ha ba fitla ba re ba tlo re ntsha ba tshwere bo dithunya mono ba re nka ba re lahlela ka ntle ba bolaya bo difestere.
Despite confirmation with the previous owner that this family owns the house, they were still evicted.
Ba fonela Elias abaqeda ufonela Elias uyabajwetsa Elias no muthu yena o irekile ndlo kunna 720,000 you pay already. Nagi chota kuri ki mufeli ngolo la high line to yena kuri anga sokolisiwe ke batho. Njo a irekile ke ya high.
Bane ke le tjena ke ne ke batla o lo itshisa yona ntlo eno yaka. Ka be ke nagana re ho tshisa ntlo eo o itshenyetsa nna o ba ha ke pheta pe ke wina o tlo tlameha hore ke qalefatsa po lokisa. Yona ke e bohloko haholo.
Today they live in this 1-bedroom flatlet in someone else's yard, a far cry from the 3-bedroom house they once lived in. We followed up to see who currently stays on their property and discovered that their house was being rented out to new tenants who were clearly oblivious to the fact that the house was hijacked.
Okay. Yes, I don't know if I'm lost. I'm looking for a guy by the name Julius.
Guy by the name Julius staying here.
Is it? Because I think this is the paint, it was white, but this is the number 139. You used to stay here last year around, I was here.
Maybe last year, October or so.
Oh.
October.
Sorry?
October, November.
Oh, okay. So you don't know where you went?
I have no idea.
Is it? Okay.
They moved, they didn't tell us where they moved.
Yeah.
They had a fight with the owner and so on.
Oh.
I don't even know if they're speaking.
Oh. Or the owner then?
No, the owner of this.
Oh.
This woman claims that she now owns this house.
I came there and then wanted to sing with them, and then they said, no, you are too young to sing with us. Then I got angry that day. That's when the Dr. Malinga was born. I don't want to say poor because of now we are not poor. That means God wanted to give us whatever He gave me today. Till I was featured by DJ Choice on the song called Casanova. Signed with Kalawa Jasmine via Orlando. Many songs. Then Dr. Malinga this, Dr. Malinga that. Then I was in.
For more inspiring stories, stay tuned to Bupilong every Friday.
Former domestic worker Betty Ndaba inherited this house from a former employer. She says a few months ago she was abruptly informed by police that she was illegally occupying this property and that someone else now owns it.
Ngakhishwa ngiyahlala ngaphandle nabantwana singadlile izinto zami zafa angina njengoba ubona nje kunje la endlini kwafa izinto zafa amakhabethe anginakhabethe mina lezitsha zafa izinto zafa lapha phandle babeyikhipha bejikijela behamba namaphoyisa asebhuyisini ngaphandle ukuthi banginikeze incwadi eshoyo ukuthi sizokukhipha kufanele ngiyisayine incwadi azangikho mina incwadi engayithola uma bebuza ukuthi okay bathi bona banginikile okay mina ngitholanga iphe yabi copy ayikho nayo kodwa impahla zami zifile impahla zami zingaphandle ingane zami azidlile ingane zami zihlukumezekile.
Zweli Ndaba has been trying to assist his sister in this matter.
When my first thing when I realized there was a problem with my sister is when the different owners came in with the execution of the purchase to my sister with the very same account case number, and in a couple of months there were 2 or 3 people they came in as the rightful owner of the house. Then is when I start realizing there is a problem with my sister.
Ama-drugs adayiswa left and right. Uphoyisa noma ungathi bangatshela manje ukuthi naba lapha nabadayisa ama-drugs what lizoya iphoyisa khona lifike lithatha imali bese liyabatshela ukuthi yilo mama othe nina nidayisa ama-drugs emva kwalokho uzofa wena ufela ukuthi wena usuhambe wakhuluma lezi zinto lezi.
The matter of this property is still in court, and as Betty and her brother Zweli continue to fight for ownership, she and many of the locals here believe that the problem of property hijacking persists with the collusion of the local police. The Gauteng police acknowledge the existence of corruption within their ranks.
I said to the community, they must report all incidents of criminal activity to me. We established already a hotline, whereby I am communicating directly with the community. And believe me, since Monday morning, people are phoning this line. They are reporting about issues of drugs, issues of police activities. And believe me, we are investigating all these allegations, and I am going to take steps. Because before, it was never reported to me. I didn't know anything up until the people decided to burn the houses. I went down to the community to find out what is the problem.
The Center for the Study of Violence and Reconciliations researcher Tsoloselo Sasanga believes that what happened in Rosettenville is a strong cry for help from government.
I think definitely research does show that communities, when they resort to violence, that becomes like their last point of call, because they've exhausted every avenue, whether it's to engage the police, whether it's to engage other government entities in the communities, whether it's having meetings or whatever. So when communities resort to violence, they would have tried everything else, and they would see this as the last resort.
As part of the solution to deal with the problem in cosmopolitan communities, she suggests ongoing dialogue and integration programs between South Africans and foreign nationals.
South Africa really comes from a long history of exclusion. We have not had interactions with other African countries. And this is a new scenario. So there is a bit of that all of a sudden there's a big influx from other African countries of people we perceived maybe dangerous, we don't know so much about. So we have lived in 300 years of exclusion. So somehow psychologically we need to adopt and to learn to work, and maybe we could have programs that actually teaches us about what happens in Zimbabwe, what's happening in the DRC, what is happening in Somalia, so that our people can then know and appreciate some of the dynamics that make people to actually come into this country.
Former President Thabo Mbeki recently added his voice of reason and cautioned against criminalizing foreign nationals.
As South Africans, we should never forget the enormous sacrifices that were made by the sister peoples of Africa to help us achieve our liberation, and cannot now behave in a manner that treats other fellow Africans who are now resident in our country as enemies or unwelcome guests. And neither should we commit the offense of viewing or characterizing the African migrants in our country as criminals. When our communities discover or suspect criminal activity in their areas, regardless of the nationality of the alleged criminal or criminals, they must report this to the police service. And the police service itself has an absolute obligation to follow up on these community reports, thus to avoid the people taking the law into their own hands.
Meanwhile, as night falls in Rosettenville, the fragile peace is kept in check by a strong presence of Metro and South African police, as an atmosphere of uncertainty and ongoing tension continues to prevail between locals and foreign nationals.